Hey guys, I've had an interesting couple of days since sort of coming on live with you. I couldn't get on live after that. My lives wouldn't let me go on. It was just not letting me press the button. And then obviously my Facebook's gone down, which was such a shame because I had such an interesting day yesterday in terms of going down to the food bank, seeing how the dynamics of the food bank are changing, and then being out and about. And I'm still seeing what I'm on about right in front of my face. Like even now, I've got a family going past me who've got a lad with a wheelchair, and it's not a one size fits all. We've just earlier on when we were walking about, me and the boys have just been out for a walk today, and we passed all of the people who are on the Conservative team all out there, like all happy, smiling, all, you know, I mean, the votes are not even done. There's 2 weeks. So basically there's 2 weeks until people are in position. I do know that Stephen Morgan has lost his seat. So that is Stephen Morgan out. So hopefully he will take the time to maybe educate me, or he will just leave. Who knows what Stephen Morgan will go into. But, you know, it was like watching Tweedledee and Tweedledum. You know, it really was. There was a really cool guy there, really down to earth, really somebody who just looked like, you know, your good old proper traditional person. And then obviously, you know, you had, what's interesting with the XR movement is a lot of people are taking positions now within the council. And then I'll come past the police station and I see the poxy new police coming out in 2x2. The first time I was all right about it, and I thought, okay, cool, bless your cotton socks, you know, we've got all the new police now coming out on the streets. And then the photographs were being taken of the other ones, and they were all, you know, standing outside the police station. And oh, good afternoon there, Maria. You know, and they're standing outside the police station, and they're just kids. They're just kids. And the thing is that annoys me with every MP, every person running for Parliament's agenda was, well, not, it's not even about gender, it's like, right, we want to put 200 police on the streets. Be gentle, Shiloh. That's not what people need. Police are for, say I go home and my house has been broken into. You ring the police, they come in, they do the crime scene investigation, they work out who might have been the criminal, and then they go out and they find the criminal, and then they bring him to the crime prosecution service, who then take him to court to see whether or not he's going to be pardoned for his crimes, right? If somebody kidnapped my children right here, right now, on this part, runs off with them, who are you going to call? Well, you're not going to call Ghostbusters, are you? You're going to want to call any person who's going to listen to you and help you come out and try and find your children. The police will then say they have to be missing up to 24 hours, blah, 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 before we can do anything, blah, 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 blah. If you get into an argument with somebody, unless somebody causes actual body harm or grievous bodily harm to you, it is not criminal. It is a civil matter. People feel scared. People are in fear. Putting more police officers on the streets is not how people feel protected and safe. That is like saying, okay, Kelly Cotton, you've got a couple of things going on in your head right now, because I took the time, and I am so sorry to so many people back in 2013, 14, 15 who had sent me messages. I've only just had the chance to go through and have a look at these messages. And last night I was going through the message box and I was reading things that people had sent me, and I just don't think people understood that I was a mum who just had her kids taken, and I was in complete and utter shock, complete and utter trauma, fucking angry, scared. And the thing is we as parents always say, if anyone ever hurt our kids, we'll kill them. The reality is the majority of people are not killers. The psychopaths that are in this world right now, unfortunately, are the people leading it. The people who, yes, darling, yeah, I'll come and help you. You know, it's a lot of stuff is done with good intent. You know, some people who join the police do it because, you know, go on then, jump down. Yo, you're staying up there. Go on then. Nice. You know, a lot of people who join the police, one, it's ego driven, one, it's a power thing, one, it's because maybe their dad was a police officer, or mum was a police officer, or granddad was a police officer. Two, maybe it was because they were bullied at school, or maybe because they've been through an experience that the police didn't do anything about it and they want to become better police officers. For whatever reason, somebody gets into being a police officer, just like being an MP, just like being a social worker. Well, as soon as I saw all of the people who have come together to be part of our new team, straight away, first thing I went over there, what are you going to do? When are you going to halt the adoption drive? When are you going to understand that people with physical conditions, mental health issues, learning difficulties are all coming under your same tick box? We don't have this family support system. We don't have this system that enables and supports families through adversary. If we did, then indicative budget would be there for the equipment and technology that people needed. If you're on Motability, you either get to choose between a car or a scooter. You can't have both. So, you know, if you've got your wheelchair, then it should be properly suited, and it's all a battle and it's all a fight, and it shouldn't be. If people in the world are feeling fearful and scared, putting police on is not the answer. They're dealing with antisocial issues. They're dealing with the fact that the majority of people in this world do not know who they are. We're dealing with the fact that if you want to go into a play park with your kids, it has to be governed by some form of system. I chose to be a mum. That meant I wanted a family. That meant I wanted my husband and my children so we could go off and be a family and live the way that we wanted to live. It has never ever worked out this way because the way of the world, people keep conforming to it. The Bible said, do not conform to the ways of the world, but by the renewal of your minds. But this was still the same Romans that put Jesus on the cross in the very first place. We as people are starting to understand, like I was on the beach yesterday and I was speaking to a guy who is a sports journalist, and he was saying people are starting to understand this pattern of dogmatic education that people have been going through, and starting to realise that actually they were funneled and cattled into something that they never wanted to be in the first place. And I met this guy yesterday, and it's very interesting watching people come out of lockdown. I forget, because I haven't been on lockdown, I forget that people who have been on lockdown have been basically in a prison cell, coming out for their walk, probably just nipping to the shop for basics. The guy that I was speaking to yesterday made sure that he always had 2 weeks provision, and he came out for the first time yesterday. I didn't realise here in Portsmouth that I have been the person that people that are slowly just coming out, I've probably been the first person they've spoken to and interacted with. A lot of people have been moving around within their school bubbles who have been in school, but people who haven't had that, who have been in jobs going to work. I met this wonderful guy yesterday. The irony is he seems to be making lots of remarks about, yes, I'm aware of that, or I know that, and he actually was very heavily involved in all of the research to do with AIDS. And somebody who's part of the WHO is one of his closest friends who's on the panel of that, and we were discussing how corona doesn't kill anybody, just like HIV doesn't kill people, but these viruses still exist. I'm watching how obviously Elijah hugs people, and even I'm trying to get that boundary right with Elijah. Can you believe, by the way, in these 11 years of campaigning and the 5 years that I have had the boys, I have done everything in my power to make sure that words like paedophile are not structured around my kids. And all of a sudden Elijah hugs somebody yesterday and goes, oh, be careful, I could be a paedophile. But I met somebody who was gay, who was constantly paranoid about being called a paedophile because he had actually been through being falsely accused of being a paedophile. But also watching people, how they're coming out, how people are coming out, how people are in, it's exactly the same way as my uncle who came out of prison. apart from the fact that he was a lot different because it comes out with anger, but watching people coming out and watching people enter back into the world again is, you know, so please do be kind to people who genuinely have been on lockdown, who have been so fearful of everything going on and continue to be in a place of fear. But no COVID policeman is going to come over and arrest a virus and keep him away from you. No medical nurse is going to come into your home and sanitize down your home for you. And no person is going to come in and make sure that the people around may or may not choose to social distance. You have to have that. You have to overcome that fear barrier. Nobody can make you feel safe. No police officer, not putting 1,000 police officers on the streets will make you feel safe. Not putting 1,000,000 police officers on the streets will make you feel safe. The only way a person can feel truly safe is, one, knowing that the Lord is strapped to your back, that you have an exit plan, an entrance plan and an exit plan. You have a time that you were born, you have a time that you die. Everything in between is about you living it and being it and breathing it and going on and making them memories. What people are scared of is coming out the dogma. They're worried about what people think. They're worried about whether they will lose the people that they love. They're worried about whether people will turn their backs on them. I'm going through it now. Careful, guys, and I'm going to go through it even more so as September comes, with everybody whose belief system is that my children should be in school, that I would be denying them an education. I'm far from denying my children an education. Can you be careful? Elijah, Shiloh, he's trying to come down, darling. No, if he's trying to come down, then you need to let him come down. So all I'm saying is, it's like children having sex. Wow, let's get the condoms out then to make sure they don't get protected. Or maybe we educate them about love and proper relationships and the consequences of sex out of marriage, rather than focus on putting the condoms in it and going, well, they're going to fuck anyway. So in terms of policing, well, educate people to self-guard and protect themselves. We shouldn't have all of these systems around us that is about safeguarding. Educate people. You know, I bet you none of these Shaling warriors have any police around them. No. So yeah, I disagree with anything and everything that's going on today. And then they had the audacity of coming over to me and going, thank you for informing us of that. I said, no, I'm not informing you, I'm telling you. I'm making it very, 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 very clear that this country will go down for state kidnap. And it will. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how many ups and downs people like us have. It will come together, because that's our focus and that's where we're directing. I will. How have you just got in there? With my feet. Ugh, where's your coats and everything? Help, help, yeah, help. That's the thing, isn't it? Help, help, help.
What is help?
What exactly? What is help? And most people, when they ask for help, don't actually need it. They're just in victim state. And that's what we just need. Bunch of bloody coaches around, not police. So anyway, I'm back on here. I don't know how long it's going to let me go. I can't open my pages already. I'm going to go and play with the kids for a bit. So to everybody who's here, have a lovely day. I don't know how many of you I know, how many of you I don't know. And at the moment, I'm just keep on keeping on. Yes, you can get out. Let me just turn this off.